What if I told you that thousands of family visa applications have unexpectedly been placed on hold, and your loved ones might be trapped in uncertainty, unable to reunite with you in the United States? This is not speculation. This is occurring right now, and it could impact your family reunion plans in ways you never anticipated. The United States Citizenship and Immigration Services has just halted processing for specific family visa categories following a recent executive order. And if you have a pending application or are planning to submit one, you need to hear this immediately, because the next few minutes could transform everything you thought you knew about bringing your family to America. Welcome to U.S. Policy Brief, the channel where we break down the most critical immigration updates affecting families, workers, and visa applicants across the United States. I'm here to make sure you never miss an important change that could impact your immigration journey. Today we're discussing a major development that has sent shockwaves through the immigrant community. USCIS has halted processing for specific family visa categories following a recent order from the Trump administration, and this decision is creating uncertainty and anxiety for thousands of families who are waiting to be reunited with their loved ones. If you want to understand what this means for you, which visa categories are affected, what you should do next, and how to protect your application, then make sure you subscribe to US Policy Brief, hit that notification bell, and stay with me until the end because this information could be critical for your family's future. Immigration policy in the United States has always been a topic of intense debate, and over the years, we have witnessed numerous changes that have affected how people come to this country. Family-based immigration has traditionally been one of the cornerstones of the American immigration system, allowing U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents to sponsor their relatives for green cards and visas. However, recent political shifts have brought significant changes to how these applications are processed, and the latest development is causing major concerns across immigrant communities nationwide. So, what exactly has occurred? Following a recent executive order issued by the Trump administration, USCIS has announced that it is temporarily halting the processing of certain family-based visa categories. This is not a complete shutdown of all family immigration, but it specifically targets particular categories that fall under the family preference system. The decision has been justified by the administration as a necessary step to review current policies, ensure national security, and address what they describe as systemic issues within the immigration framework. However, for the thousands of families who have been waiting months or even years for their applications to be processed, this halt feels like a devastating setback. Let's discuss which visa categories are specifically affected by this halt. The family-based immigration system in the United States is divided into two main categories: immediate relatives and family preference categories. Immediate relatives include spouses, parents, and unmarried children under 21 of U.S. citizens. And historically, these applications have been processed with higher priority and without numerical caps. The family preference categories, on the other hand, are subject to annual numerical limits and include four main groups. The F1 category covers unmarried sons and daughters over 21 of U.S. citizens. The F2A category includes spouses and unmarried children under 21 of lawful permanent residents. The F2B category covers unmarried sons and daughters over 21 of lawful permanent residents. The F3 category includes married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. And finally, the F4 category covers brothers and sisters of adult U.S. citizens. According to the latest information from USCIS, the processing halt primarily affects applications in the F3 and F4 categories. These are among the most backlogged categories in the entire immigration system, with wait times that can stretch for over a decade, depending on the applicant's country of origin. The halt means that even if your priority date has become current, meaning you were previously in line to have your case processed, USCIS is now holding off on moving forward with adjudication. This is creating a situation where families who thought they were finally close to being reunited are now facing an indefinite wait with no clear timeline for when processing will resume. Why are these specific categories being targeted? The administration has stated that the halt is part of a broader effort to conduct a comprehensive review of family-based immigration policies. Officials have raised concerns about fraud backlogs and whether the current system adequately serves national interests. Critics, however, argue that this is simply another attempt to restrict legal immigration, and that it disproportionately affects families from certain countries, particularly those in Asia and Latin America, where the backlogs for F3 and F4 visas are already extremely long. The impact on these communities cannot be overstated, as many have been separated from siblings and married children for years, and were counting on the processing of their applications to finally bring their families together. What does this mean for people who already have pending applications? If you filed a petition in the F3 or F4 category, and it is currently pending with USCIS, your application is essentially in a holding pattern. USCIS has indicated that they will not be scheduling interviews, issuing approvals, or taking significant action on these cases until further notice. This does not mean your application has been denied or canceled, but it does mean that you will experience delays beyond what was already expected. For families, this is incredibly frustrating, especially considering that many have already been waiting for years and have invested significant time, money, and emotional energy into the process. If you are planning to submit a new petition in one of the affected categories, the situation is even more uncertain. While USCIS is technically still accepting new filings, there is no guarantee about when or if these applications will be processed. Some immigration attorneys are advising clients to hold off on filing until there is more clarity about the future of these categories, while others suggest filing anyway to establish a priority date and preserve your place in line. The decision ultimately depends on your individual circumstances, and it is highly recommended that you consult with a qualified immigration attorney before taking any action. One of the biggest concerns for applicants is what happens if the halt becomes permanent. While USCIS has described this as a temporary measure, there is always the possibility that policy changes could lead to more permanent restrictions, or even the elimination of certain visa categories altogether. This has happened before in immigration history, and with the current political climate, many advocates fear that family-based immigration could face significant cutbacks. If the F3 and F4 categories were to be eliminated or severely restricted, it would affect not just current applicants, but also anyone hoping to sponsor family members in the future. So, what should you do if you are affected by this processing halt? First and foremost, stay informed. Immigration policy can change rapidly, and what is true today might not be true tomorrow. Make sure you are following reliable sources of information, such as official USCIS announcements, reputable immigration law firms, and trusted channels like US Policy Brief. Avoid relying on rumors or unverified information on social media, as this can lead to panic and poor decisions. Second, if you have a pending application, keep all your documents organized and up to date. Even though processing is halted, you should be prepared for the possibility that it could resume at any time. Make sure that your contact information with USCIS is current and that you respond promptly to any notices or requests for evidence. Failure to do so could result in your application being denied, even after processing resumes. Third, consider consulting with an immigration attorney. The rules surrounding family-based immigration are complex, and an experienced attorney can help you understand your options and develop a strategy that is tailored to your specific situation. They can also help you explore alternative pathways if the current halt makes your original plan unfeasible. For example, if you were hoping to sponsor a married child under the F3 category, an attorney might be able to identify other visa options that could work for your family. Fourth, reach out to your elected representatives. Immigration policy is shaped by political decisions, and your voice matters. Contact your senators and congressional representatives to let them know how this processing halt is affecting your family. Share your story and urge them to support policies that keep families together. Advocacy and public pressure can sometimes lead to policy changes, or at least bring attention to the human impact of immigration decisions. Fifth, take care of your mental and emotional health. Dealing with immigration uncertainty is incredibly stressful, and it can take a toll on your well-being. Make sure you have a support system in place, whether that is family, friends, community organizations, or mental health professionals. Remember that you are not alone in this struggle, and there are resources available to help you cope with the anxiety and frustration that comes with immigration challenges. It is also important to understand the broader context of this processing halt. Immigration has been a hot-button political issue in the United States for decades, and policies tend to shift depending on which administration is in power. The Trump administration has taken a hardline stance on both legal and illegal immigration, implementing numerous restrictions and policy changes aimed at reducing overall immigration levels. This latest halt on family visa processing fits into that broader pattern and is consistent with previous actions taken by the administration. However, immigration advocates and legal experts have pointed out that these restrictions often have unintended consequences. Family separation can lead to significant emotional and financial hardship, and it can also have economic impacts as immigrants contribute to the workforce, pay taxes, and support their communities. Moreover, many argue that restricting legal immigration does not address the underlying issues in the immigration system and may actually make the situation worse by driving people toward unauthorized channels. Looking ahead, the future of family-based immigration remains uncertain. If there is a change in administration or if Congress takes action, immigration policies could shift once again. In the meantime, applicants and their families are left in a state of limbo, unsure of when they will be able to move forward with their plans. This uncertainty is one of the most challenging aspects of the immigration process, and it requires patience, resilience, and careful planning. For those who are not directly affected by this halt, but who care about immigration issues, this is also a moment to pay attention. The decisions being made today about family-based immigration will shape the future of the immigration system for years to come. Whether you are an immigrant, a family member of an immigrant, or simply someone who believes in the importance of keeping families together, now is the time to stay informed and engaged. Here at US Policy Brief, we are committed to keeping you updated on all the latest developments in immigration policy. Whether it is changes to visa processing, new executive orders, updates on green card applications, or practical tips for navigating the immigration system, we are here to provide you with accurate, reliable information that you can trust. Make sure you subscribe to US Policy Brief and turn on notifications so you never miss an important update. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful and share it with anyone who might be affected by this processing halt. The more people who are informed, the better prepared we all are to handle whatever comes next. We also want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know how this USCIS processing halt is affecting you or your family. Are you waiting for a visa in one of the affected categories? Do you have questions about what you should do next? Share your story and your concerns because your voice matters, and together we can support each other through these challenging times. Thank you so much for watching US Policy Brief. Stay strong, stay informed, and remember that even in uncertain times, there is always hope and there are always options. We will continue to bring you the information you need to make the best decisions for your family's future. Until next time, take care and keep fighting for your American dream.